brought to you live from my house. Anyway, this is mostly a vocabulary lesson, and when you read the notes, everything I say will make sense. So I'm just going to go through the vocabulary. First thing I want you to know is what a monomial is. A monomial is just a variable or a product of numbers and variables, just a number. 6 is a monomial. X is a monomial. Product would make 6x a monomial. 6xy is a monomial. This is a product of numbers and variables, just a variable or just a number. Monomial. Monomials cannot have negative exponents. For example, x to the negative 2 is not a monomial. Monomials cannot be more than one term, like x plus 2. That is not a monomial. Monomial is one term. Monomials cannot have a variable in the denominator, because a variable in the denominator makes that 4x to the negative 2. Move me, make me negative. So this is not a monomial. The exponent has to be positive. In other words, the exponent not only has to be positive, but it has to be a whole number, a positive whole number. To find something called the degree of a monomial, you add up the exponents of the variables. Let's say that's 5. So the degree of this monomial, this is a product, is 2 plus 5, which is 7. The degree of this monomial, only adding the exponents, see this has a exponent, but exponents of the variable only, so the degree of this is 0. The degree of 9ABC, for example, that has a 1, that has a 1, that has a 1. The degree is 3. This is the degree of the monomial. The degree of 25. 25 does not have a variable, so the degree is 0. All numbers have a degree of 0. One more. A to the 4th, B to the 6th, the degree is 10. Now, if you have a monomial that is in a sum, A plus B, or a difference, 3x minus 5, that's two monomials, we call it a binomial. A binomial is a kind of polynomial. Polynomial. A polynomial is a monomial or a sum or difference of a monomial. So, polynomials. You have a monomial like 5x. You have binomial, which is two terms, 5x plus 2. Trinomial, easy to figure out. Trinomial is 3 terms, A plus B plus C. A plus B plus 2, whatever. Okay? Now, polynomials also have degrees. Remember, a monomial is like a squared b. The degree is 3. Well, when you have a polynomial, more than one, like a binomial, for example, let's take 6x minus 3y squared. This is a term, and this is a term. This is a binomial because it has 2 terms. The degree is the highest one. If this monomial was by itself, it has a degree of 1. If this monomial was by itself, it has a degree of 2. But a degree of a polynomial, more than one monomial, is just the one with the highest. So the degree is 2. Here's a trinomial, x cubed plus 2x minus 5. Okay, here's a monomial, and here's a monomial. But 3 of them together make a polynomial called a trinomial. The degree is 3 because that is the highest one. This is all explained in your notes, and I'm trying just to do part of your notes so you don't have to watch too long of a video. And I do want to talk about order. From now on, I've not been picky about this, but I'm going to be now. The order you write your polynomials in is in order of degree. For example, 5xy cubed plus 6x squared. Okay, here's a monomial that has a degree of 2. Here's a monomial that has a degree of 4. 4 is bigger than 2, so this binomial is written in the correct order, highest degree first, 4 and then 2, and the leading coefficient is the coefficient of the first one. So if I wrote this in the wrong order, 4 minus x squared, you would rewrite it as negative x squared plus 4, because the degree of this is 0, and the degree of this is 2. Highest degree. The leading coefficient is negative 1. It's the first number in front of the variable. So I have some examples here. 3x minus 4x cubed plus 5. First of all, we're going to put it in order. This is a trinomial. Monomial, monomial, monomial. 3 terms where negative 4x cubed is first. 3x is second, 5 is third, and the degree of this polynomial, also known as a trinomial, kind of polynomial, is 3, the highest degree. I know you'll have trouble remembering when you do a monomial, like 4x squared y cubed, your degree of the one term is 5. But when you have more than one, this is in order, it's still 5. It's the one with the highest. But if I had one with a 6 here, or a 7, the degree of this trinomial now is 7. Okay, so there's 2 ways to classify polynomials, according to how many terms it has and how many degrees it has. Let's go over saying it in terms. Okay, so if you have one term, that's one term, it's a monomial. And the degree is, in this case, 4. Okay? A degree of 4. We're not going to memorize all the names of degree of 4, but I am going to require you to know the degree of 3 and so forth. I should just go in order. Let's just do this. I'm sorry. I didn't prepare. It's almost midnight. All right. So let's just do it in terms. 2xy squared, that's a monomial, one term. X plus 2, that's a binomial, 2 terms. X squared plus 2x plus 2, trinomial. If it has more than 3 terms, we're just going to call it polynomial. These are all polynomials, but there's certain kinds of polynomials. Okay? Just like there's all kinds of quadrilaterals, square, rectangle, rhombus, and they're all quadrilaterals. Okay, in terms of degrees, we have a degree of 0 is a number. Any number has a degree of 0. It's called a constant. A degree of 1 is linear. a degree of 2, like x squared plus x plus 5, is quadratic. Be ready to learn all about the degree of 2, a quadratic, very soon. And then we have a degree of 3, like x cubed plus 5. That is called cubic. And any more than that, we're not going to require you to know. I believe the next one is quartic. But we're only going to require you to know these because these are all the ones that we're going to be working with in Algebra 1. So, a number by itself is a constant. You know, when we had x plus 2, that was your variable, and that was your number, called a constant. The number in front of the variable is called a coefficient. So the number in front is the leading coefficient, because now we're going to have more than one coefficient. You know, you might have 5x squared plus 2x minus 3. That's a coefficient. That's a coefficient. That is a constant. And the leading coefficient is 5. That's a monomial by itself would be a monomial with a degree of 2, a monomial with a degree of 1, and a constant degree of 0. There's all kinds of examples on your notes. I know I'm going through it really fast because you know I only have 14 minutes to tape, and I did want to take the time to go through each directions on your homework. Your homework is easy. You can do it on the worksheet if you can write neatly. The first thing on your homework, if you have it out and printed off already, if not, that's okay, is just state the degree of the monomial. So number 1 just wants to know the degree. The degree is 1. Remember, the degree is add up all the numbers of the variable's exponents. I think I said that right. Okay, the next part is state the degree of the whole polynomial. So if you have more than one term, like 8x cubed plus 2x, this binomial, you take the one with the highest. That is a degree of 3. The next part of your homework says, classify each thing as if it is a constant, linear, quadratic, cubic, or 4th degree, 5th degree, 6th degree. And also say if it's a monomial, 1 term, binomial, 2 terms, trinomial, 3 terms, or more than 3, we're just going to say polynomial. Don't want to run out of time here. Let's see how much, I think we're good. Okay, so let's take a question that says to write, standard form means you write them in order. So, one of your homework questions is negative 2a plus 7 plus a squared. This is number 21. First, you put them in order. A squared minus 2a plus 7. This trinomial, you're going to say it's a trinomial, has a degree of 2. It's the one with the highest. And then there's a couple of always, sometimes, never questions, which I love. And then you're going to evaluate, you may use your calculator, like 6x minus 7, if x equals negative 3, what is that equal to? I want you to show what you're punching in your calculator, and then you get negative 18 minus 7. You don't have to show that part because your calculator will do that for you, but the answer is negative 25. That was number 31 on your homework. So your homework's really short. It's just getting an idea of what your definitions mean. And I do want to do one, since I do have enough time, I think. Number 15 is 3x squared plus 9. Okay, so first you're supposed to say, is it a constant, linear, quadratic, cubic, 4th degree, 5th degree, or whatever? Okay, so this has a degree of 2. That is a quadratic. So A is quadratic. And then B, it says to say monomial, binomial, trinomial, or just polynomial. And since it has 2 terms, it is a binomial. So it's quadratic because the highest degree is a 2, and it's a binomial because there are 2 terms. And I know I went through that really fast, but I didn't want this video to